Ah, yes, the comic book shop. You hate to go there because it smells like balls and sweat.
Yeah.
Oh, pathetic balls and sweat, mostly us. But you
It's
gotta.
just when we come in.
Yeah, it's just our upper lip, and by that I mean our lonja. But anyway, gross. Anyway, yeah, you know, if you're a fucking nerd, you gotta hit the comic book shop at least once a month. So with that in mind, we had to go down there, and it was more because I had to do a pickup.
Yeah.
And that was my boy Candyman, which I had pre-ordered, and I was scared that they hadn't gotten it in. So I was like, damn, I might have to fucking buy this on, somewhere else, whatever. Anyway, they called me in. I was like, I gotta go pick up my Candyman, man. So I go, and the intent was pick this thing up, get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
It's already paid for, over the course of like 70 years, it seemed.
You had just popped in a brand new freaking Ice album that we were listening to.
Yeah, I was in the Ice Cube zone. I drove up. I told you I'm gonna zip in and out.
Just keep the ice going.
Just keep the ice cube going. I'm coming right out. But as I exit my vehicle, we notice that there is a guy outside peering into the windows of the comic shop.
The windows of the comic shop, right next to him, not even a foot away. There's a sign that says "Open."
Yeah, it's open. These are not regular windows. It's not like a big ass picture window. No.
Yeah.
The comic shop actually has no windows. By windows, I mean, those little like kind of porch windows that are right next to a door?
Yeah.
That's what it has. So they're like by the door and they're really small.
They have bars.
They have bars and they're opaque so you can't really see shit.
Yeah.
But for some reason...
I feel like this homie did like something really stupid. But he was already committed, so he's just like, yep, I'm just here.
Yeah, I feel like he was scouting the territory to see what he could do, which might have been the case by what I'm about to say. But anyway, he was peering into these windows. Even though, like you said, it says open, the door was ajar.
Yes.
There's a sign outside on top of the one that's on the door that they put out when it's open. So it's open. He knows it's open. I know he's a repeat customer because, what I saw inside. But anyway... So I see this cat and I'm like, fuck, this guy's in the way. Clearly he's going to get in there first. Fine, no problem. In and out, I says, right? So I go in and sure enough, by the time I actually go in, he's already at the register and he's talking to the chick. Now, this comic shop that we frequent is run by two ladies. They are, how do we say, of a sapphic nature. They're lesbos is what I'm getting at, and nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that they happen to be lovers and co-workers, co-owners of this shop, which is cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wouldn't want to see that porno because, frankly, not my jam. Both because I don't like lesbo porno, and two because they're not the greatest looking. but nobody will want to see my porno anyway. Oh yeah, you'd bang one,
the bigger one.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. It's not my jam.
Yeah.
But then again, apparently my jam is just feet. Free floating
What is
feet.
that, dude? You're just floating ass feet.
You gotta do a video on my foot thing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
There's too many of them.
Anyway. No, but I mean, get to the roots. But anyway.
Foot roots?
The foot roots. Technically, the feet are the roots of the body. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway. So it's owned by this couple. And one of them is a very open and friendly...
Yeah.
Inviting presence, she's got good customer service is really what I'm getting at. The other one is really, because she doesn't want to talk to any of us unwashed masses. Come on.
Yeah, dude.
Realistically, nobody wants to talk to a comic fan at all.
And little mood is falling off.
Yeah. So.
And she clearly washes. So
yeah.
It's like...
So she's really nice and she's got customer service is what I'm getting at. The other one is a little bit more introverted. She's not rude. Don't get me wrong. It's just she rarely speaks. Now, I've engaged in conversations with her, and she's once their flow gets going, she's conversational, but again, very guarded. So anyway, I walk in, and this dude's already at the front register with the more amicable one of the two, and he has a stack of comics that he's gonna trade in. All right, because they got like a credit system going there. So, all right, I'm just going to have to wait for a stack about yay big of comics. That's not too bad. They go through them and they decide a price and that's it. And it's not like he has key issues or anything. There's just random fodder. So I'm like, all right, that's not too bad. So I kind of just, it's a really small spot, by the way.
Yeah,
so
tiny.
Anywhere you are, you're right next to the front register, basically. So I just, look around while this guy is being attended to. And there's silence between him and the amicable one. There's just silence as she looks through the comics. So I look through all the shit on the walls, all the shit in the stacks, and this shouldn't be an issue. She's almost gone through the whole stack, and the other girl comes out, and she's gonna put them in the long box, and they're gonna decide the final price, right?
Yeah.
So I'm already like a minute in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. 1 minute wait, that's not so bad. But then this guy, the peeper, if you will, decides he's gonna strike up conversation because he must have felt like, oh, it's too silent in here or something. I don't know. Why do people feel the need to talk to people at registers? I do not know, especially if you know there's somebody there that's going to be attended to next. But he just decided out of the blue, as they were finishing the count, I'm going to strike up a conversation. And this guy straight up had the worst conversation ever, locked and loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, he was loading that bad puppy up.
And he set that bad boy up with this nugget of a fucking intro line. So, I got stopped the other day, and I got a ticket. That's it. That was his fucking lure. And the chick, clearly disinterested, is like, oh yeah? And you could hear the dread in her voice, like, oh, son of a bitch. She knows
it's coming.
Because what is she going to say? I don't give a fuck. Yeah. She can't say that. I'm sure the other one, the thinner one, would have been like, okay, or something, just totally. Straight up like silence or whatever. But this one is too nice. Yeah. Her customer service is on fleek. So she was like, oh yeah? Or cool. You could almost feel that, oh, no. And he just went off at that point. They opened the door, and this son of a bitch went fucking 60 miles per hour through it. Let me tell you, man, this wasn't even like I get stopped and it's a fiasco.
Yeah.
Not every time, but if I get stopped, it's a fiasco because I got a record and they assume the worst. So, and it's not interesting enough to tell you about it. But this guy is literally just a guy that got stopped because they thought he probably was going a few miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
It was a 55 zone, he said, and they said that he was going 60. So 5 miles, big whoop. Riveting tail guy. But he's basically like, yeah, I got stopped. They said I was going 5 miles over the speed limit. But I wasn't. Cool. So I was like, so he claims that the cop was like, oh, well, I got to give you a ticket or whatever. And he tries to play the story off like he was cool or something. Yeah. And I could tell this motherfucker was making it up on the spot. Because it was like, yeah, so I was just like, yeah, you do whatever, homeboy. You do whatever you need to do. And like, first of all, motherfucker, you talk to a cop like that, they're going to nail you with a fucking ticket. 1, because you ain't got titties. 2, because you suck. And 3, because, come on, man. Who does that? Nobody does that.
Not you, clearly.
Clearly not you. So he's trying to play this off, and they're just like, oh, God damn it.
This is a thing.
So the bad part about this is that he continues this spiel nonstop without any breaks to let them get in, an edgewise there. And because of that, they can't tell him how much credit he's getting, how much he owes, nothing. So they just continue going through the comics.
Oh, no, they do the restart?
They do the restart, dude.
No.
They had already stacked them all here. The other chick was already over here to put them in the fucking long box. And this chick just went, oh, I guess I'm starting a new stack.
No.
And I'm like, oh, no, man. At this point, I'm like, oh, God damn it. Here's the worst part about this guy. His name was Joe, by the way. How do I know? Because he referred to himself in the third person.
Yeah.
Constantly. So Joe tells him this and that. Like, dude, you didn't tell anything.
Who does that, dude?
And first of all, even if you told anything to that cop, your story is still, I got stopped and let go. That's it. That's the story.
Yeah, no matter, it doesn't matter how many freaking twists and turns you throw in there. Unless suddenly the freaking cop turned into a ballerina hippo and fell and was me.
Yeah.
It's not a freaking cool twist, dude. Yeah, you literally got stopped and let go.
Yeah, this is literally the most pedestrian story ever. Anybody that's been behind a fucking wheel has been stopped, and then the cop's like, I'm going to let you go with a warning.
Yeah.
That's it. It happens to me Like 90. I've literally done fucked up shit in vehicles, and I got stopped, and they just said, you can go without a warning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I drove years without fucking licenses, crashed, hit other people, all kinds of fucked up shit. And at the end of the day, they go, we're just going to let you go with a warning. You know what I'm saying? So this cat who just fucking casually got stopped decides that this story is the most interesting thing ever. And he's going on for fucking what seems to be ages. And I can attest to how long this was because I had just started that album.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's not a normal length album, okay? No. Normal length album is what, like maybe like 30 to 40 minutes. It's a burned album, and I max out my burns, so it's 70 something minutes.
Yeah, I was in there listening to that shit, hardcore.
Yeah. So I'm in there for about that. Now you might be thinking, "Yo, Ahab, I know you. You should have just gone up there and do what you usually do. Hey, man, what the fuck?" or some shit, yeah? But here's the thing, man. We frequent this place.
Yeah, we don't want to burn bridge.
You can't shit where you eat. That's one of my major rules. You cannot shit where you eat unless it's actually shitting where you eat, which I have done. But anyway, the point is...
not great.
The stink. It's not good. Yeah, you can't fucking burn that bridge, man. I don't want to have a bad relationship with this establishment because I do business there with these people.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? I can't just be an asshole. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm stewing at this point, man. I've seen everything in the long boxes they have for sale. I don't have money to buy shit, so I'm literally just waiting. I see everything. It's a small spot. I've seen everything 1,000 times, and I'm just like the chick starting this count stack again. I just started seeing everything again, and I'm hearing this idiot go on for 70 years about this fucking stop, dude. At the end of the day, nothing in the story happened. He literally got stopped and let go. The end.
Yes. It took 80 hours.
He finally realizes that his story has nothing of merit and or substance, and actually stops to breathe for a second, and the chick, the thinner chick, immediately interjects.
Yeah.
Because she's clearly like, we gotta get the fuck out of Dodge. So
they're gonna leave even though it's their shop.
Yeah,
like, we're out, dude.
I wouldn't blame them, man. So she's like, oh yeah, I got, literally this is what she says. Oh yeah, I got stopped too. You know, they said I was speeding, but I wasn't, so let me go. The end.
That's it.
That's literally his story in one sentence.
That's literally even it's kind of like even throwing a little shade. Like, I told your story.
Yeah.
This small? Can you measure
this
a story by length? I guess
now you can. Yeah. So she literally just said that, and that should have been the end of it because they had already run through all the comics. They already in their mind, I'm sure, had the price they were going to give them. And so she says that, right? And that should have been the end. The chick at the counter that's already recounted these comics 1,000 times, she goes, that's going to be 80 something or whatever, right? Because he was also buying some pops and some shit. And that's it. That should be you cash in, you cash out, you say thank you and bye. But guess what? This guy, the moment he hears that brief moment, he's like, so yeah, man, next time they stop me, I'm just gonna freak out on them, man. And I'm like, oh no! First of all, Joe, you're not gonna freak out on anybody. And actually, I hope you do, just like a punch you in the face with a nightstick and then arrest you. But you're not gonna do jack and or shit. Second, seriously, have we reignited this story again? So he harps on about this what he's gonna do for a few seconds, and at this point, they're just stacking the comics in the long box, aka
leave.
Get the fuck out of a fucking store now. And they've already told him how much he owes, but he continues, man. He goes on and he says this. He segues the conversation somehow from that shit to this. Have you guys heard about the DC's 5G initiative? Now, if you're not a comic fan, that means nothing, but basically it's DC's rebooting their continuity. And this is one of those guys I found out at this moment that thinks he's a know-it-all, one, and two, that thinks he's the end-all of every opinion ever. Joe is. Yeah. Because he's like, yeah, have you guys heard of the 5G initiative at DC?
I like how his voice, did he actually talk to him?
Yeah, damn. It sucked. And then they're like, the thin one, which again is a little bit more to the point, she's like, you mean the... what did she call it? The fucking 5 something, whatever it's actually called. You mean this? And he's like, yeah. It's fucking retarded. And I'm like, oh no, it's one of these guys.
Yep.
Oh fuck, no. He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, they're gonna just make all the history set in stone, and they're not gonna allow anything to change. And this is fucking stupid as hell. I got into an argument with somebody on a forum, and they were talking about this, and I told them it's so fucking retarded. That was it.
That's
like, dude, that's
good own.
You're saying the same shit.
That's a good own, dude.
So he takes that as an open invitation to harp about comics, period.
Yeah.
And there's a new character being introduced in DC Comics that's basically gonna, kind of taking the place of Harley at Joker's side. Her name's Punchline. A lot of people, speculators, are making a big deal. Is this gonna be the next big character? So people are buying comics of her first appearance at a pretty high rate. Yeah. This is pretty usual. This happens all the time. And this dude's like, so what do you guys think about this Hell Arisen 3 with the first appearance of Punchline? I got it. He didn't let them answer, by the way. He's like, I got into this thing with this guy that was selling a copy for $100, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy that for $100. I'm not an idiot. That shit's gonna be worthless in 3 years. Fucking retard. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, shut up. First of all, I've done that. I've told people online, like, dude, homie, that's not worth shit. But it's when people are trying to, they're trying to fucking slam on you. They're trying to flip you bad. Scam you.
Yeah, they're trying to sell you a yo-yo hold for $85.
But it's not a cool story.
No.
It's not cool. In fact, it's kind of lame. And I say that about myself too. Like, why are you even telling these people? You know they're going to be scumbags. Whatever. The point is, he decides that this is cool. Here's the thing. He's asked them, what do you guys think about this? This is a comic shop.
Yes.
And he knows damn well that they're selling that issue at a premium price right now because, one, it's a business, and two, they know they can get 40, 50, 60 bucks for it.
They've also posted pictures that they have.
Posted constant pictures of what they have.
Yeah. And
so
they had that issue.
Yeah, he knows, and he's still going here, oh, it's fucking retarded that people are selling it for that. This and this and that. And he just goes on, dude. By the end of the conversation, or quote-unquote conversation, it becomes evident that this is a guy that just hates DC and likes Marvel and thinks that anything DC is, quote, retarded. And he's harping, dude. And I'm going to be honest with you, at this point, I was losing my mind. And you know me, if you get me to a certain... It's rare that I get mad, but if you get me to a certain point, I will get fucking vocal. And I was reaching that point. I was thinking, fuck this. I'm going to shit where I eat. I'm fucking tired of this nonsense. Fuck! Get the fuck out of the way, Joe.
At this point, you can only assume that he's making them uncomfortable. He's talking shit about their business, basically.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened because he's all saying all this retarded, that retarded, which is something they're doing. And then he does eventually realize that that's what they're doing because it's a business.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, but you guys were selling it right. And they tell him exactly what I just said. Yeah, because people are going to pay that price for it right now. And they're trying to be nice. They're like, but you're right. In a few years, it's probably not going to be worth anything. DC tries to push their characters a certain way to make it an event or whatever. For the love of God, don't play along with this guy. But the nicer one is, the other one looks like she wants to die. Yeah, I'm over here now like, fuck this guy to the ground. Burn him alive because this sucks.
At what point did he hit on them?
Yeah, look, I didn't see this exactly because at this point I was clawing my eyes out in a corner trying to fucking keep myself from murdering him.
You're in fetal?
Yes, I was literally in a fetal position in the corner crying. But at one point, I didn't see his body language, but I'm sure if you're a woman that's ever worked retail, you've encountered this 100 times. And if you're anybody that's ever come across our ex-co-host, The Guardian, you've definitely come across this. For some reason, guys think it's okay to hit on chicks at retail, and they think that being courteous and having customer friendly a customer friendly approach is flirtation. And I'm almost 100% sure that he was taking the bigger chick's courtesy as some sort of flirtatious move. Yeah. Now, I didn't see his body language, and he was just talking his nonsense that leads nowhere.
Out at this point.
Yeah, but I did hear the other chick go very pointedly, oh yeah, my girlfriend has this and this and that. And she said it like that, like punctuated, like, dude, this is my girlfriend. So immediately my attention snapped back, and unfortunately, I didn't pick up, the rest of the conversation around it. So I didn't, but I'm almost 100% sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
There's no other reason for this guy to be lingering so much, other than he sucks and thinks he's cool. And he also had this annoying thing because they went on talking about the fucking comics and how he oh god, he's like, yeah, I just try to buy important issues and make sure it's an investment, and they're like, god damn it, because they're collectors too.
Yeah.
Especially the thin one, she's like a super collector. So that's like the worst in comic collecting. Like someone that just buys to invest sucks. It's douche. And he's like, but if anybody comes and because they had already sold out on those issues, which by the way, they were charging the retarded amount. But anyway, he's like, if anybody comes by and asks you for key issues, you just send them to old Joe. But I'm going to tell him no because I'm going to keep them. Like, shut up,
bro!
Shut the fuck up,
That's
man!
The worst.
Oh god, I hated Joe, dude.
Who does that?
Anyway, that was like, that's it. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm done. At this point, he's right here. Like, let's say this is the front register. He's right here in front of it, and I'm over here in the corner looking at him.
Someone had already walked in.
Oh yeah. I'm piercing fucking his soul with my stare. Another customer comes in. The thin girl takes that as an advantage.
Like, I'm out.
Yeah, like I said, she's very introverted. She hardly talks, but she's like, hey, do you guys need help or whatever? And she's out. Meanwhile, the bigger, nicer girl's like, oh, son of a bitch. And that's when I catch her eye. And she already had my Candyman in hand because I had told them ahead of time I was going to go on Saturday. And she had it, and she gave me that look that said, please shoot me right fucking now. And she like kind of slid it like that over the counter. But I had a question to ask.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm determined. I'm going to fucking ask my question. And this son of a bitch is going to get the shit out of the way. So I look at the Candyman and I walk up right behind Joe. My fucking gut in that scoop of his back, in the small of his back.
That's like the ultimate power move, dude.
Yeah,
I put my gut.
ultimate power move, dude. I slotted
cereal bowl.
Yeah, slotted that bad boy into the cereal bowl of his back there. And I was like right behind him, dude. And he turns around. And I'm like, hey, Joe, you think I could get in here real quick? And he's like, were you waiting or what? Yes, I'm fucking waiting. The fuck do you think I'm doing here, man? I've already seen everything like twice. And that's it. That's what I said. And he's like, oh, and he gets out of the way. He's like, gets out of the way. And then she's like, oh, here's your candy, man. Like, real nice. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then she says, you want to take a look at it? Which she has never done.
Yes.
It's pretty much, here's the thing that you pre-ordered months ago. Buy. And she's like, you want to take a look at it?
Yeah, as a hand.
And I'm like,
oh, Joe
yes.
gotta leave.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, I definitely want to take a look at it. So I look at it, and Joe is just hovering here, dude, waiting for me to leave clearly so he could restart. And I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, hey, I have a question. And she immediately, like, you're Joe, I'm this guy. I'm me. And she's right there.
You're this guy.
And she's right there. She turns away from Joe to look at me. Like, she doesn't have to because she's behind a counter that we're both in front of. But she 45-degree angles away from Joe and looks at me. So she's literally staring half at me and half at a wall.
The ultimate hint.
Yes, the ultimate hint to get the fuck away, Joe. And she's like, oh, yeah, what do you need? So I asked her the question that was, I was asking a question for you about a pre-order. And she's like, oh, yeah, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I say, oh, cool. I said, can I put a pre-order in for a couple of figures? And she's like, oh, yeah, definitely. So she takes out her thing, makes a show about taking out all these things, which she usually just has. And it's usually like, oh, you wanted it here. There you go. She's like making this big old thing, and I'm like, damn, this Joe fucking cat hasn't left. Now, at this point, by the way, there's another person, the person that walked in, they're waiting in line too. So now I got to get out of the way, right? So I get out of the fucking way. I ask my question, put in the little pre-order, take my shit. I'm like, thank you. As I'm leaving, the person behind me, the one that had entered the shop later, should have gone up to the thing. But I see Joe get up there. And I knew in my heart of hearts that he immediately started a quote-unquote conversation
You left the thing, and I was still bumping to. Oh, actually, no, it had just ended when you came out.
Yeah, it was literally
the CD.
The CD was literally on the last track, so I had lasted at least an hour in there.
Yes. I was fine with it though because I was bumping to ice.
Yeah,
okay.
Could have drained the battery, but it would have been worth it for that scoop of my longhai in his cereal bowl.
Yeah. So you came out and you were talking mad shit about Joe, and we took a picture of the Candyman thing, and you were there for a little bit, and he didn't leave.
Yeah. We were still out there in that parking lot because I was pissed about the Joe situation, and I was telling fucking Guntik, dude, I was close to fucking bitch slapping this fool. You know, I was gonna slap his face off, whatever. I was raging, fuming at this fucking idiot, and the fact that I had to control my anger, which again, I rarely get angry. But this fucking moron, shit. Anyway, I was telling him that, yeah, we took a picture of the Candyman, sent it to our boy Marcus. So we lasted out in that parking lot at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And Joe still didn't come out.
And the person that was behind him didn't come out, so you can only assume that person is still there waiting, and Joe is still there.
He was shot blocking them.
Yes.
Fuck, dude. Joe is the worst, man. Joe is that person that I don't know. I never want to encounter again because there's nothing worse than an inconsiderate prick.
Yeah.
That thinks he's cool.
Yeah, super thinks he's like the best thing ever. Too.
I could have maybe forgiven it if he was actually cool, but he wasn't cool. Tell him to come to old Joe.
Who does that? Yeah, like who in regular conversation names himself?
Yeah, fuck that, man. If I ever start going, oh, you know what old Ahab said? Fuck me in the ass right there, right then and there. Take my anal virginity away because I deserve it.
Yeah.
Shit. Anyway, I didn't murder Joe, so there's that to consider. But I should have. Yeah. Somebody should, in fact, take out Joe.
I'm sure everybody would have golf clapped in there.
Certainly those chicks would have golf clapped, man. Yeah. Shit, they would have fucking rioted in joy.
Yeah.
I've never seen deader faces in my life
than those. Bathroom.
Yeah, man. Imagine, look, man, we hardly ever converse with them. In fact, I've only engaged in lengthy conversation with them a couple of times. And by lengthy, I mean normal. There was nobody in the shop. And in fact, the last time that I actually had a long conversation with them, it was about a group they started, and they engaged me further in it. I just told them, hey, man, thanks for making that group. We needed it because everybody was poisonous in the old group. This was a toy group, by the way. And they engaged me further, and the other one came out, and you know there was a rapport there. And I sidled to the door and grabbed onto the handle because I was like, yeah, this is my hint. They were like, cool. That's it. Yeah. Joe, on the other hand, fucking Garfield clings to their fucking soul.
Damn, homie. I kind of hope we're going to go back on Tuesday because there was unfinished business, that being you not killing Joe.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that...
And he's clearly there.
I kind of hope that Joe's there, dude.
Dude, if Joe's there, and he might be because he's breaking the fucking laws of time and space with his conversation...
His spirit lingers behind...
I'm going to have to say something like, Joe, you blow.
I didn't experience this because I was listening to Ice again for 70 minutes. But I want to experience Joe. Like, he sounds like the worst creature.
By the way, he looked like a douche. Okay, he's wearing, like, cheap rip-off, what are they called? Like, what are those fucking boots called, man? You know, like those stomper boots, you know, like, kind of military-style boots. Yeah. So, knockoff versions of those. Doc Martens, that's what I was going to say. Rip-off Doc Martens, like cheap Chinatown Doc Martens. Socks rolled all the way down. You know, thin-ass legs with shitty tattoos all over them. Jorts. Super long jorts that go, like, under the knee. And don't get me wrong, I've been guilty of the sin of jorts in my past, but this guy's jorts sucked. Anyway.
Any jort that touches Joe's.
Yeah, anything that touches Joe's ass. You know, lame shirt, whatever. I don't even care about the shirt. But then he's got this, like, weird, like, pseudo Jerry curl hairdo. It's not a Jerry curl. Because that alone would have deserved him a bitch slap, unless he's Ice Cube.
Yeah, dude.
But he's got, like, this ugly-ass Jerry Curl-esque hairdo. And then he's got, like, a big gold hoop earring. Uh-huh. And he's got this douche face. And he's like, yeah, man. Like, shut the fuck up. Everything about you makes me want to punch you. And then you talk about shit that makes no sense.
Oh, man. It's retarded.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man. Anyway. was a story of me wanting to murk Joe.
I kind of want to know like how much credit they gave him. I'm assuming it was just Marvel shit, so it's literally worthless.
Well, he ended up owing $80.
So nothing.
And he gave him a big stack. And all he had, by the way, was a shirt, which there in the shop is like what, $20 or something. 2 pops, which they sell them for $10, so $40. And he owed $80. What
Damn.
the fuck, man?
Those comics must have
They
sucked
actually
so much
like
ass.
charged him for the comics.
Like, that's some Marvel ass shit.
I did see the comics, and they were mostly Marvel because, again,
DC's
apparently
retarded.
he hates DC, and it's clearly fucking anal about anything Marvel related. So it was mostly Marvel stuff, and yeah, all modern stuff. So nobody gives a crap about it.
$0, yeah.
So anyway, that's the story of Joe. Another fucking nightmare at retail. I would hate to be behind a counter with people
Joe.
like Joe came in.
Damn, homie.
And they do.
Yeah.
So anyway, let us know any fucking retail horror stories you have, because we'd certainly love to read those in the comments down below. Hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Because we're out.